11:11 p.m. It's kind of late to call, but you know, any of you know you can call me. So I got a new candle. It is coconut. It's hand-poured coconut wax. Christmas spruce. Even has a cute little truck. There's my tree. I don't have to buy a tree. Actually, I have a non-bay tree that I just keep out 24/7. 365 days a year. Because it's always Christmas. Right? Who's here? What's going on? What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you making? What are you doing? Ooh, ooh, Karl's here. Karl, does that mean? Who's here? I'm editing the privacy, and now it goes public, and then I will do one more thing. So really, what's going on, kids? What's going on? What is happening in the world? No, not that. That. Poetry glam. Hello? Is there anybody there? Anybody jumping on for the glam? Here, let's put some glasses on to make it more glamorous. They're not very glamorous glasses, but I do like them. I feel very, I don't know, but they do need to be cleaned, so I'm going to clean them super quick while I copy and paste my little note. Copy, go back to Facebook. That's right, the meta, edit post. Anybody jumping on to read some poetry tonight? Come on. It's fun. You know it's fun. You know you want to. Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, what happens if I do this? Hello? Hi. Can you hear?
Hi. Am I calling the right number?
Yes. Poetry. I should have said 11:11 with Jenna. Poetry glam. You're on my laptop. Can you guys hear? That is not a very fancy picture. Thank you, Mark. Oh, wow. Hello, Patty. Can you guys hear Karl? Can someone give me a thumbs up? Are we frozen?
Hey, can you hear me? Hello? Are we out there?
Yeah, I just want to see if it seems like I'm freezing. Am I freezing, you guys?
Well, here's the way it works. I have to mute you on my screen because there's a delay, right?
Right. I just want to know if I'm.
So it's really strange. I'm looking at your face and you're speaking, but it's like,
right.
You know,
like I go like that. You don't see it right away.
Oh, I see it right away, and I see the closed captioning.
Oh, closed captioning also. So, but you're on my laptop, so you guys can hear Karl. Hear loud and clear, no freezing. I wonder why I'm freezing on my particular device. Very strange, kids. Strange. But you guys can hear Karl, you can hear me. No, everything's moving, everything's cool. Karl?
We want to know.
We need to know. What did you make for dinner tonight?
I made venison stroganoff.
Venison stroganoff. What do you serve with that?
Yep. Serve it over noodles, and then we had peas.
Peas. I love peas. Do you do frozen peas?
Yeah.
I like petite peas.
Easy.
Petite.
I just look for the easiest frozen ones I can get, you know. That's how it works. And it's been a long week, you know. Yeah. I'm tired.
Understood.
Well, yeah. Well, ever since Thanksgiving,
Pretty nonstop.
basically the next, for me, yeah, because I went from Thanksgiving on, was it Thursday, was it?
Thursday, Thanksgiving. Was that
then,
just last
yeah,
Thursday?
It was Thursday.
Was that last Thursday or 2 weeks?
Yeah, it was last Thursday.
Was
it
it
was
really?
last Thursday, and Friday I went out Friday night and shot a deer.
La 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 la.
Blah 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 blah. Well, hey, if you've ever bought meat at the supermarket, you know that somebody's got to butcher it.
I respect it.
So,
yeah. I think it's cool that you do that. I mean, not that, but that you are able to do that, and then you make use of it. Do you eat? Can I ask you a tough question? Do you eat the heart?
I used to do that, and Uncle Bill I used to take the liver and give it to Uncle Bill, and then I would, I've done the heart several times. It's kind of a pain in the ass, and it's not that great.
My cousin used to bring the heart over for my dad. Seriously.
Really?
There would be a heart in my freezer.
I've had 2 or 3 different recipes for it, and it's just kind of I don't know what to say about that. Some people just go, ooh, I like the heart. Well, it doesn't really, it only tastes the way you prepare it, and you just got to, bread it and fry the shit out of it, or it's, it's just not really great.
All right,
so I don't do that anymore, but I do, what I've done over the past several years is I used to, I know you don't want to hear this because it's gross, but
wait, hold on a second.
I do everything at home. I do everything at home in the kitchen, but when I first get it, number one, I don't know how many more years I'm going to be able to do this, because it's really hard. La la la.
Well, wait, let me put on my headphones. Hold on a second.
I'm still watching your closed caption, so that's all right.
Can we change the subject?
Yes. Okay. I was just going to, the only thing I was going to add to that nastiness was that I give it back to the forest.
The earth. Okay.
When I'm done.
Right on. I believe
throwing it away, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean all the animals in the forest clean it up, and that's giving back to nature instead of throwing it away.
I'm there with you.
Right. So that's all there be to that. It's taken me a week, and I finally finished it today. Right. That's why I'm burned out. So.
Yeah, Nino was a hunter.
Get back to more productive things like playing my guitar.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah. Here, hold on a second.
Yeah, I've been. Did you look up? Did you look up Cal Wilkenfeld?
I did. Wow.
Did you?
Wow. I look up everything. I write everything down. And I have to watch something called Life's Too Short.
She's so crazy good.
She's crazy.
I mean, at 20, well, and a lot of those things, those Jeff Beck films, that Ronnie Scott's and that stuff, she was like 21,
A friend of mine used to manage Ronnie Scott's, and when I would be in England, I would just go and hang out at Ronnie Scott's. Wow, what a gift. Crazy.
Yeah, it seems like it's a very small place.
It is. It's just a cool little club. There's Ronnie Scott's and Pizza Express. Pizza Express is a pizza place
Huh.
in London, and there's about 5 or 6 of them, or there were, and that's where everybody goes and listens to music. If you can't get into Ronnie Scott's, like you haven't made it to Ronnie Scott's, you play at Pizza Express. It's kind of fun.
That sounds very strange for England.
Pizza, I know. It's not very good. It's great pizza. I love their pizza. So, speaking of peas,
Anyway, I just thought it was that particular setup or that film of that with them playing there. You've got this little teeny 21-year-old girl, and you got Jeff Beck bowing down to her.
Who is it that said that they liked the videos with Jeff Beck? Was it William D? Someone posted, they said, I like the videos with Jeff Beck. I think it might have been William D.
I think she's got her own thing going now. She's got a contract. I think she got like 2 solo records out. But they're not really like the stuff that she does with Jeff Beck. Well, Jeff Beck is like Jeff Beck. There's nobody else like him.
Jeff Beck That's very true. So what's this week?
Yeah, that's how Al actually turned me on to her.
Well, that makes sense.
Posted up
Al's a bass player. Al hasn't been on the show. Al hasn't been on the show.
Al's a lurker.
Don't be a lurker, Al. Be on the show. I love Al.
Yeah, he just put up a post a little while ago. He's putting together, has put together some new band. Cool. He never quits playing, though. I mean, he's like a heavy hitter. I don't know what he's been doing lately. I talk to him like once every 2 months or something like that.
Tell him I want him on the show. That would be fun to have you both.
I don't know if. Well, you'd have to ask him if he's got the camera and I'm sure he's got.
He can do what you're doing right now, right, you guys? You guys, but you would like to meet Al. He's a really funny, charismatic, great bass player. How long were you guys in a band together? Or how long was Frenzy? How long were you two in Frenzy together?
Well, actually, I knew him from a couple years before Frenzy. So, the first band that we actually had, or that I actually played out someplace with, was with him. So, usually, since his mom lived kind of out here by us now, out in Riverside, and so most of the time when we lived on Shoreham, he lived with us.
Right.
He was like one of those orphans that my parents adopted all my orphan musician friends, and he lived on and off. He lived with us for I don't know, even 10 years, off and on at different times. It was just wherever he could flop.
Oh, he stayed at my house before.
Most of the time.
He spent the night at my house.
I believe it.
Because when he was dating when he was dating a very good friend of mine, he stayed at my house because the snow was so bad he couldn't. There was a blizzard, and he ended up staying overnight.
Right.
No, there was, and he had dinner. This is a funny story. The next day, I think I told you this. We were having lunch. My parents, Sunday pasta, and my dad looked over at him and said, "So, Al, what do you do?" And Al looked at my dad and he goes, "I play." And my dad was like, and then by the end of the meal, they were buddies. I play.
Oh, good. Well, I think that really, till he moved to, till he moved to Louisville, I think that's really all he did. He's had a succession of jobs since he moved down there.
Isn't
He
he
worked
working
at
a
the
casino?
down there
Yeah.
for a long.
Right. He was a dealer,
He
right?
did for a long, long time, and he got really sick of it and quit. But he worked there for a long time, 10 years at least, something like that. So.
Yeah. Well.
And
we don't want to talk about Al
I didn't
anymore.
start seeing him. Yeah, okay. If he wants to talk about himself, which I'm sure he does, he can do the same thing I'm doing.
Hey,
right?
Speaking of, isn't it cool to be in a cartoon? Isn't it cool to be cartooned?
Yeah. To be animated.
You're animated. You're a cartoon guy. You're a cartoon character. Thank you, Rob Morocco.
Yeah, I think it's yes. Thank you, Rob. I think it's strange to think about it because I watch a lot of animated cartoons, and I never thought anybody would want to turn me into a cartoon.
It's pretty cool. Cartoon.
It is pretty cool. I've often thought that would be a pretty sweet gig to have. Would be to do voiceovers on one of those shows.
I've done some voiceover stuff for a couple of cartoons. It's fun, little voices and stuff.
I did it for a couple commercials, but not like being a character written into the script of a cartoon. That would be a pretty sweet job.
Well, you have the voice for it. Do you do any impersonations or any kind of funny voices?
Not really. I'm just me.
Well,
I've never tried to.
Never?
Now you're cutting out on me.
Oh, really? Am I cutting out, you guys?
No, just from my end of it, I'm not hearing you.
Okay.
Correct. I'm watching you closed caption. It says, oh really? Am I cutting out on you guys? See, it's like 3 seconds or 4 seconds behind. Strange.
Hold on 1 second.
So say something now.
Hello.
Okay, now you're back right again.
Do you have a poem?
Yeah, I do. I went through this book that my mom had that's got about 50 different little bookmarks in it for these poems that she had bookmarked for I don't know what reason, because she liked them, I guess. Some of them are just way too extraordinarily long and hard to do, and I'm not even going to try that. But I found one that I don't think is terribly long, and it's not too complicated, or it doesn't look like it. I haven't tried it yet, but I will give it a go, huh?
I'm here. And there are 5 other people here, or 4 others, because you and 4 other people are watching.
Okay, besides the lurkers.
No lurkers tonight, I don't think. William thinks you should be on South Park. Hey, Bonnie Barker.
I love that show.
It's a great show.
We watch that almost every day. They've been showing, marathons of it. You can watch it for hours if you want to. And they're still making new ones. That's the longest running animated show on TV next to The Simpsons. The Simpsons is first, and then South Park is second.
Amazing.
It's been on longest.
Did not know.
Yeah, like 30 years. Amazing. when we first started watching that, my son and I and Kim were looking at that, going, this is gonna last like 5 years.
30 years.
Big surprise there, huh?
I didn't know that.
Wow. Yeah, I'm thinking that. Because I know that when it first came on, we were kind of fighting about whether we should let my kid watch it or not, because he was so young, right? And it's kind of foul,
Yeah.
But so he's going to turn 35 on Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wow, man.
So
you have a 35-year-old son.
Think about how long. Yupper.
That's pretty cool.
Well, it is cool. He's grown up to be a good man.
Seems like it. Maybe he could come on the show sometime.
Oh, yeah. He barely gets on. He barely gets on social media. I mean, he's got a Facebook page, but he very rarely gets on it. He doesn't have time. He works. He just, that's all he does is work.
And he lives where?
Huh?
Does he live down south?
No, he did. He lived on the Keys until Irma hit.
Oh, okay.
And Irma actually hit on Big Pine Key where he lived and put it under 6 feet of water.
Wow.
So he knew it was coming, and he left like at midnight and drove straight through to my aunt's in Athens, Georgia.
Ooh,
and by the time he got there, his place was underwater.
Wow.
So he came back then.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he lived in the Keys a couple years. He lived down there.
That's where I think of him living. Okay, that makes sense. All right, let me hear your poem. I'm excited.
Okay, here we go. This one's called Somebody's Mother. It says it's by Mary Dow Brine, who I have never heard of. Okay, besides this right here. All right. The woman was old and ragged and gray, and bent with the chill of the winter's day. The street was wet with the recent snow, and the woman's feet were aged and slow. She stood at the crossing and waited long, alone, uncared for, amid the throng of human beings who passed her by, nor heeded the glance of her anxious eye. Down the street with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out, came the boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow piled white and deep. Past the woman so old and gray, hastened the children on their way, nor offered a helping hand to her, so meek, so timid, afraid to stir, lest the carriage wheels or the horses' feet should crowd her down in the slippery street. At last came one of the merry troop, the gayest laddie of all the group. He paused beside her and whispered low, "I'll help you cross if you wish to go." Her aged hand on his strong young arm she placed, and so, without hurt or harm, he guided the trembling feet along, proud that his own were firm and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. She's somebody's mother, boys, you know, for all she's aged and poor and slow. And I hope some fellow will lend a hand to help my mother, you understand. If she's ever poor and old and gray, when her own dear boy is far away. And somebody's mother bowed low her head in her home that night, and the prayer she said was, God be kind to the noble boy who is somebody's son and pride and joy.
That's beautiful. I know, Julie, right?
Yep. Okay.
Wow.
There you go.
Beautiful and touching. Very touching, Patty said. Oh, I love that. It's so true. And when I'm walking around Manhattan, I would see those little old ladies bent from the cold, and I always help people. And that's always great when you see one of those big, tall, young men just like confident. What is it? Did it say confident in his footing?
Yeah. He's young and strong, and she's old and feeble. Yeah, it is true,
Yeah.
Think if it was your mom,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about, having goodness of heart. So.
I love that.
But, there's plenty of people out there that, that don't have that. So.
I watch people walk by my mom and I sometimes. She'll be in her walker and I see people walk really fast by and I just go, do you not see this person in a walker? We're walking like wherever we are. But then there are other people that are really conscious and it takes all kinds to make this planet work. No, that was lovely.
Well, and, there's a lot of different reasons why there's a huge populace, in the United States or the world, for one reason or another, old people lose everything or lose their children, and are alone, right? So we are sorely lacking in social programs to help that type of situation. So, if you can lend a hand to somebody that's in a worse position than you are, you should. Sure. Kim kind of got on my case last week, I think it was. There's this old black guy. He's always setting up outside the DG out here in Hager, and I've gone up in there before, and sometimes he's asked me for a cigarette, or something, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have one. Sorry. Okay. So he pulled up there the other day, before it started getting shitty out, and he's riding around on his bike. So I know they must have pulled his license or something. Who knows where he lives out there somewhere. And when I went in, he asked me for $1 so he could get a soda, is what he said. So I gave him $1.
He must not be from Michigan then, because he didn't say pop. He said soda. He's not from the Midwest.
He did say soda.
He's not from the Midwest.
Yeah, I know. There's a difference. So, then when I came out, I got in the car and Kim says, "Why'd you give that guy a buck?" I said, "Well, because he said he wanted to get a pop." I said, he usually asks me for a cigarette, and I don't have one, so, and she said, "Well, he was just sitting there smoking a cigarette." And she said, he pulled out a pack of Marlboro Reds. And she says, "I can't even afford to smoke those, She's smoking the bargain basement cigarettes, and he's smoking Marlboros, right? Which are like $2 more a pack.
Oh, really? Are there generic cigarettes?
And yeah, yeah, sure there are.
I didn't know.
And she goes, so you're giving him a buck, and he's smoking higher price cigarettes than I can afford to buy. And I said, "Well, like I knew, shouldn't be giving him a buck for cigarettes anyway, because that's just, kind of promoting the bad habit of smoking." But
maybe you should give him Annie's phone number.
Yeah, I doubt if he would be in he doesn't appear to have a cell phone, but I guess that's not really the point. If he's panhandling in front of the DG, certainly can't afford to call Andy. Right?
Which is the DG? Dollar General.
Dollar General.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of new, right? The Dollar General?
Yeah, it's where the bank used to be. In Hager.
Yep. We drove by there. When we go out to Watervliet, we go by there.
I'll tell you what, that franchise, that Dollar General franchise, they're going to be, within a couple of years, they'll be bigger than Walmart. I mean, there's already 2 of them within a 5-mile radius of me. There's one in Riverside, and there's one a mile away from me in Hager. There's another one in Coloma. There's one in Watervliet. There's one in Covert. There's one in I know there's more than
there's
one
like
in St.
4
Joe.
dollar stores in within 6 blocks.
Yeah, I mean, all of them are different. Like the one in Coloma, they sell beer and wine.
Really?
The one in Hartford actually has some has produce and real meat in there, as opposed to frozen dinners or whatever, like the usual stuff that they have.
Patty said that she just read an article that they're going to be raising their prices.
I'm sure they are.
$3.
They are cheap.
Like $2 Chuck is not $2.
General.
$2 Chuck's not $2 anymore. I think it's $4.
Yeah, Chuck's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, that is nice. Julie said something very sweet. She said, "Some days, Karl, our act of kindness wins regardless of what they might use that dollar for." Oh, things are $1.25 at the dollar store?
Right. What I've found is that the Dollar General on almost everything is it's almost exactly the same as Walmart is.
Wow.
Like, say, aspirin, aspirin, ibuprofen, Benadryl. They're the same or cheaper.
Do you have dollar stores in Canada, Rob, Carol? Do you have dollar something like that in Canada? I'm curious. In Jamaica, they call the dollar store the China store. They go, oh, just go to get it at the China store. You go, what? Yeah, the China store, because China owns Jamaica. When Chinese New Year happens, Jamaica is a big old party because it's all like Aldi's. I love Aldi. Do you shop at Aldi, Karl?
My son does.
I like Aldi. I'm even on a Facebook page for Aldi. I go to Dollar Tree and everything is $100. What? I must go to a fancy Dollar Tree.
Yeah, I've never seen one like that.
Maybe you go and spend $100.
I go to South Haven. I go to South Haven for everything.
To the Aldi?
Basically. Well, they have an Aldi there.
I like their Aldi. That's a nice Aldi.
But I go to the Walmart and to the Meijer in South Haven.
I like Save Big Money
I don't go
Menards.
Yeah, I don't like them very much either.
No?
I like Lowe's better, but
I like Lowe's.
But I try to. I don't go to. I go to Benton Harbor as little as I possibly can.
So in Canada they have Dollarama and Dollar Trees. Dollarama? That's cool. I want to go to Dollarama.
Dollar Tree.
And Dollarama. I think there are Dollar Trees here.
Dollarama.
Aren't there Dollar Trees here?
I think there are.
I think there's a Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have another poem for me?
I don't.
Oh, really? When you were reading that other poem, I went, this is why we started Poetry Glam right here. Thank you, Karl. I said that earlier today, but when you were reading again, I went, this is why we have Poetry Glam.
Well, I have to look through those books and find something, So it's not like I just inadvertently. Have you ever? I have to look for something I think that I can do correctly.
I get it.
I'd love to do Jabberwocky.
Well, you need to get a camera.
Looked at it and I'm just like,
I want you to do. We would like to see you read that.
I know.
That would be cool.
I don't know if I could. Actually, I read through like the first couple paragraphs of it, and I'm just like,
you could.
Oh, come on, man, that would be tough.
You could do it. You could totally.
I've been reading. I've been reading some Dickens. I've got a book that has two stories in it. So I read Oliver Twist, and even though that's a very sad story, it's very well written.
It's really well written. That's such great. Yeah, it's such a great imagination. It really makes your brain go. I love that story.
Yeah. Well, also in with that volume is another story called Pictures of Italy. And this is him going through Italy and France on vacation, and this is like the late 1800s, and he's very descriptive the way he writes, and about everything he sees and how they travel and where they stay and all the, sights that he sees and stuff. I get the impression that he wasn't a very big fan of France. He's kind of derogatory toward that.
I like France, but I love Italy.
But Italy, I think, well, I've never been to Europe, so I don't know. But Italy, he seems to be more favorable to. But he just, they had to travel by carriage from, the French coast to, through France and, along the Riviera to get to Italy.
I've done that, but on a train. I traveled from Paris to Venice overnight on a train with two women in a car, a little sleeper car, and there was no Wi-Fi. One was a famous model. She kept going, no Wi-Fi, no Wi-Fi. It was really fun. No Wi-Fi.
So, what is that? No bathroom?
Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo. Well, I got to learn to live without Wi-Fi for more than,
It was like 32 hours. It was rough. They had a hard time. They were younger. I was like the old lady.
Yeah,
I was like the old lady. They were helping me get up. I slept in the top bunk, and they helped me get up into the bunk. Not really. Not really. I like sleeping up there because then there's no one above me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just easier in the bunk bed. I have a poem. Let me read you this little poem. It's really short. I was reading about poems on nervousness. So this one is, nervous and excited are the same sensation. Negative versus positive. Stop saying you are nervous and start saying you are excited. Deb Bixler. And then there was another one that I liked. Step into, this is on nervousness, because I'm performing with the symphony orchestra next Saturday, and I'm really getting nervous. So I thought, I'm going to read a poem on nervousness. Step into this experience with butterflies in your bones. With a nervous feeling so beautiful, you know you're doing something right. With a nervous feeling so beautiful, you know you're doing something right. Do you ever get nervous?
The only time, that is absolutely true. The only time I get nervous anymore is when I'm not prepared.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying really hard to be super prepared. And I'm a little behind right now, so I'm nervous.
Usually if I know that we're going to do a show, I practice on my own,
Mm-hmm.
Practice is at home, rehearsal is at the rehearsal room.
Right.
Right? With the band.
Well, with the symphony, Karl, you only get one pass with each song.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
One pass. Like, you screw up, sorry, we're moving on to the next one. You're like, but okay. Yeah. It's kind of not cool.
Yeah, but if you're prepared to the point, I try to be prepared to the point where I improvise most all the time when I'm soloing. Anyway,
you can't
it's
with
just
a symphony orchestra.
I know you can't, but
they're like. No,
I try to just try to be prepared as I can to anticipate any curveballs that get thrown my way.
Thank you.
I know you only get one shot at it. but usually I like to. It's really hard when you're playing clubs to warm up before you play. When you're playing bigger places, or even like when we played Czars, before we went on, I'd stand back in the back room and just run scales, so I was already at peak performance before I ever stepped on the stage. That's the way I like it.
Yeah. That's how Rolf.
So
I really want you and Rolf to
there,
play together sometime. I can't wait for that. I want to hear you guys play together sometime.
We're two different animals.
I know. That makes it better.
Oh, yeah, that's what makes it more interesting, right? I have been I've been listening to and playing more, I want to call it more jazz stuff, and more fusion kind of oriented music, like the Jeff Beckish kind of thing.
Cool stuff. Very cool stuff. I'm getting stared at by Lily and Pearl. I need to go pretty quick because I got to take her outside. She's like, I need to go.
Okay.
I need to go potty, Mom. But seriously, Karl, anytime you want to come on the show, for sure. But any poetry glam, man, you are the reason we're here. We wait for you, right?
Okay, well, I hope I did a good job.
You did. So, that was the perfect poem.
I hope you liked it.
I'm going to go help my mom do something now. I don't know what. But Patty's even giving you a standing ovation right now. I'm not cutting you off yet. I'm just warning you in like 2 minutes I got to go. Because Lillian's like.
Okay, well, I'll sign off now then.
Do you have a letter? Oh, good.
Oh, I don't know. Somebody sent me a notification for some band tonight. They said they were calling their band Karl.
K-A-R-L, Karl?
They wanted me to like, K-A-R-L. They wanted me to like their band site. And I'm like, come on, really?
I was in a band called Jane. But I like Karl.
Were you?
Yeah. I like Karl.
Until it came out with Jane's Addiction, right?
That's okay. Jane happened. But I like Karl. A lot. We'll have to check out the band.
I just wouldn't think it would be a cool band name,
I like it.
Although I've heard Danny Dine come up with some real ringers band names.
He's funny. He's very funny, man.
He is.
All right. Well, so you don't have a letter for me?
I like. Oh, okay. Patty Loman says K.
K for Karl. For the band Karl. You guys were going to all have to go check out the band Karl. All right. Well, Karl, thank you.
Thank you for letting me be a guest.
Anytime. Absolutely anytime.
And thanks to everyone else for listening to me.
They're listening. They're here. They're clapping for you, right? Here's your standing ovation. Another one right there. Julie Luce. Okay. Did you see what Julie Luce just said? See, I've actually sung a phone book before. Karl could read the phone book and I'd listen.
Karl could read the phone book and I'd listen. Yeah, I've got it in big screen, so I got the byline. Did you know that your broadcast is in closed caption too?
Sometimes it is. I don't see it. I see it. I don't know. Some days it just happens.
Yeah, it is on mine. It goes to it if I put the volume on mute, it automatically goes to closed caption.
Oh, interesting. I don't know why it goes to closed captioning on mine for. Well, I have a friend at Facebook. I'll ask her. That's a really good question. I'm sure I could Google it, but I like to ask people. All right, I gotta go right now. I gotta go fly a kite and sing about Karl Hess. Oh my goodness, closed captioning is automatic. If volume is shut down, then it does closed caption now, but my volume's not closed down, so I don't know what you're saying. So everybody, clap your hands for Karl Hess's poem. That was the most perfect poem. So stay safe, stay healthy, and be real nice. And everybody, clap once or twice for Karl Hess on guitar and Karl Hess on poetry. So today we have a double K, so have special K on your mind, and from your words make them kissable words, and from your heart a very, very kind and Karl-like heart. Ba-dum-bum. All right, kids, I'm out of here. Thanks, Karl. You still there?
Thank you.
Talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, very nice.
Love hard, everybody.
Have a good evening.
You too.
How hard?
How hard?